guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Serial Gaming here, and let's talk about another episode of the Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, where we will be going through two of the unit that is going to be extremely busted that will be coming up next in Divine Leviathan. So starting things off, we'll be having Zack. So Zack doesn't have too big or too much of a rework, not like he needs a lot. So given that his skill 1 and skill 2 is already really good right now, so he only get a minimal rework on his LD. It now grants 3 stacks of his overhead buff right at quest start for 6 turns instead of 1 stack, and improve his LD buff as well. It now provides more HP damage up for each stack, so that's the improvement, that's the minimal adjustment they gave him right there. And right now he also does a 3 full AoE HP attack with his LD attack. So yep, like I said, minor adjustment to his kit. Zack of course also get his Crystal Level 90 upgrade. His EX now does a 5 AoE split HP attack and extend his EX buff, which is the barrier, up to 6 turn. His additional ability has also been extended up to 6 turn, which provide a 80% self-initial bravery up, 20% self-overflow up, and a 40% self-brave damage cap up. Okay, so the best part about Zack is actually the fact that he received a new BT weapon. The BT weapon allowed a party buff of a 50% party brave damage up, a 20% HP damage up, with an additional 10% with his BT plus, a 20% party brave damage cap up, and a 20% party HP damage cap up if you have his BT plus. So outside all this buff, he also has a very unique BT effect that really solidify him as one of the better tank in this era, or if I may, the best tank in this era. So Zack's BT effect is what I like to call a combination of Barge LD effect and a combination of Warrior of Light shield. So to put it simply, your party will be immune to bravery damage with Zack's BT effect on, since he has that shield that protects your party from being broken, and he absorbs every AoE and single target HP attack. So he actually protects your party from both bravery and HP attack. And the best part about this is Zack, despite having a last stand, also is unable to die with his BT effect on. So he basically, it's gonna be a stronger Barge LD effect and a combination with Warrior of Light shield. So that's what I'm saying. He protects you from all sorts of damage, and he himself cannot die. So Zack basically is gonna be the best tank that we will be obtaining throughout this era. So I think this effect is actually really busted. We don't see anyone, even later down the line, any tanks with similar effect. I think the only problem with Zack is being a tank, he doesn't have any off-turn damage. His damage is more focused on turn. I think that's the only issue with Zack itself, since he wanted to get turns to actually damage the enemy, but getting turns also means that he will suffer with his BT effect, with his limited BT effect. So you might want to choose whether or not which path you're going for, since we always mention that Zack is a DPS with tanking capability, but right now his tanking capability far exceeds a lot other tanks, so you want to put that into consideration whether or not you're running Zack as a full-fledged tank or a semi-DPS. As for party members, I believe that since Zack himself, it's a very flexible, like I said, a very flexible situation where you can either have him as a DPS or have him as a tank. So you can run him with team comp depending on which stance you're going for. For example, if you're going more of the DPS route, you want to run him with units that gave him more turns like Ram. But if you're going for his tanking capability, then Ram would actually benefit him less, since Ram swapping him in will actually allow his BT effect to expire faster. Alternatively, if you're running Zack with the tanking route, you might want to remove his speed passive so that he won't get too much turn in. Aside from that fact, I think Zack is a very strong unit, definitely more powerful than most units that we have. His damage itself far exceeds even most DPS in this era right now, and his tanking capability just make him a lot better and a lot more reliable than even Lela. So yes, Zack definitely one of the better BT that you might want to go for. Not to mention that his animation is just really good. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I actually wanted to pull for his BT, is that sweet animation itself. So moving on from the best tank BT+, we'll be getting the best Aura bot BT+, which is Ramza. So Ramza basically have also a little bit adjustment on his skill 1, which now makes him deal 3 single target HP attack, and his skill 2 doesn't get any upgrade, but it's a buff skill, so basically it doesn't change much. His LD now does a 5 AoE split HP attack and delays all the target enemies by 2 turns, and improve his overhead buff, which now provides a 30% party stolen overflow up and gain overflow up, a 30% party bravery damage up, a 20% party HP damage up, and a 40% party initial bravery up, and a party bravery regen based on their 40% initial bravery. So Ramza also get a C90 upgrade, which improves his EX tremendously. It now performs 6 single target HP attack with 80% splash to non-target. The plus variation of his EX, which increase based on the stacks of his shout buff, only changes the potency, so no big deal there. He also improved his HP+++, which it's only available if your shout buff is at 3 stacks, which will deal 4 single target HP attack. Similarly, if you have only HP plus or HP++, you will get less amount of HP dumps. HP plus only deals 2 single target HP attack, and HP++ does 3 single target HP attack. So before using this HP+++, just make sure that you have his shout buff ready at 3 stacks so you can do the maximum damage. His additional ability really only improve his own damage, not the party aura. It provides a 40% self attack up, a 20% self gain and stolen overflow up, a 40% self bravery damage cap out for 6 turns, so that's weird considering how most of his buff is more catered to party. But the best part about Ramza is like Zack, which is his BT. With his BT plus, he now provides a very huge amount of aura to the entire party. He provides a 90% attack up, a 90% max bravery up, a 90% initial bravery up, and a 36% brave damage cap up, 36% HP damage up, and a 36% HP damage cap up, making him that has the BT effect, which have the highest HP damage cap up. Although all this does has a prerequisite condition of having a maximum 18 buff, which is 6 buff for each party unit. So combining all this buff together with his LD buff and his EX and his shout and his galvanized buff, total Ramza does have a huge amount of buff, which rounds up to 165% party attack up, a 30% party bravery damage up, a 56% party HP damage up, and a 36% party HP damage cap up. Of course, all this taking all this into consideration that he has at least 18 buff for the entire party, which is the maximum buff slot. So Ramza is so good that he's even used in JP. Even in JP, no BT effect can actually rivals the amount of HP damage cap up that he provides. And with the fact that his FR board actually comes early than most of the supportive BT plus unit, Ramza is actually a very worthwhile investment for your resources. I definitely want to BT plus him, and I definitely recommend you do so as well. Unless you don't have him, of course. He's not a must like most unit, but he's definitely a very powerful and good unit. Though if you want to compare him with Garnet, I think his only issue is he doesn't have a lot of on-turn damage as compared with what Garnet can provide to the entire party. Garnet damage is just insanely good right now. Even Ramza with his BT effect on might deal less damage than Garnet overall. I mean, I think that's the only part where if you were to bring Ramza over Garnet, but of course Ramza and Garnet can work really well together. The combination of two of the most strongest party HP damage cap up BT effect would definitely be very insane and very fun to see, which I think most people is going to go for. As for team composition, being a very generic supportive aura bot, I think most unit, I would say almost all of the unit would benefit from having Ramza in the party, and they can definitely work really well with him. Regardless, since that amount of effect that he provides work well with Brave Gain or even Brave Damage, which of you are relying on, he definitely goes well with either. So Ramza is definitely one of the easier unit alongside Zack to pair them with. So I think both Zack and Ramza is definitely a very worthwhile BT plus to go for. They both have different capability and different role when being put into the party. So it's never wrong to go either of them. So definitely want to consider your option before using your resources. Like I mentioned, I will be going for both of them if I can. Otherwise, I'll prioritize Ramza in my main since I already have his BT. And I never green him in my JP account, so I wanted to try him out in this global main account. And hopefully I can get Zack so I can green him as well. So alright guys, so thank you again guys for watching. I hope you guys get the both of them. I know most people really want them. So I hope you guys get them in your free pulls if we have them, or maybe your free dailies if you're lucky enough. So cheers guys, I hope I find my own luck too. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.